Hey, I'm Amy. Sam's in the background tinkering with something outside. So in April this year, we decided to sell everything: boats, cars, bikes, 4-bedroom house full of furniture, like chockers full of furniture, to buy a caravan and set off on a full-time journey exploring this beautiful country of ours. This year we decided that by the end of our rental lease, which was the 11th of July, we wanted to clear out everything that we have accumulated over the years and invest in a caravan to renovate for full-time travel. So we were stuck in the day-to-day life of, you know, working full-time hours, stuck in Brisbane traffic, you know, waiting for the weekend to truly enjoy life, while living in a house, paying our weekly expenses, including rent, water, electricity, insurance, for our cars, boats, bikes that we never got time to use. And all these costs that we averaged out worked out to be that we needed to earn at least $1,400 a week just to cover the basic living expenses. This amount was what we needed to earn before saving for our annual holiday. Crazy. Now, with the 18-year-old, with Cobes moving out into his brother's house, we found ourselves free from any obligation that kept us trapped in the daily life of being in the city. We needed a caravan. Our preference was for something semi-off-road that we didn't want, and we didn't want finance. We didn't want to purchase anything crazy and have that overhanging us with financial stress. We wanted to pay cash for it. We were lucky enough to find a 2010 Lotus caravan. Sam offered the guy 16 grand. Now, it was advertised for 20 grand. It did have a little bit of water damage up in that front corner, but it was nothing that we couldn't fix, right? Sam offered him 16 grand and said, we'll be out there in a couple of hours and pick it up. Thanks to Sam, our bargain hunter and coupon expert, we managed to keep the rebuild to under 6 grand in total for our new home. So our aim was, we had the caravan, we renovated the caravan, we needed to make it off-grid, self-sufficient. We had then set a date. 5 days before we were to depart, the car blew up on the Logan motorway. Now, everything happens for a reason. Now, I'm so grateful that that happened in Brisbane instead of, you know, out whoop whoop. That happened, so we had to make an adjustment. We got the car back, and sadly my dad had to be rushed to hospital. Thank God I was here. Again, everything happens for a reason. He got out of hospital. We then reset the date. 2 days before we were set to launch, Sam stumbled out the caravan after a few tequilas, literally, and dislocated his knee, leading us, and with a manual car, and I ain't driving with the caravan on, we needed to reset that date again. But we were like, F you universe, we are gonna make this happen. No matter what, we knew what we wanted for our lives, and nothing was gonna stop us. So our journey finally begins. So we needed to travel to Roma to drop off Sam's dad's car. So our first stop was Chinchilla Free Camp. Now this place, we stayed there for one night, and this place deserves a 5 out of 5, full stop. Best free camp we have ever stayed in, with the facilities that it has. Like, it is just brilliant. It offers toilets, powered sites for free, crazy, a kitchen, water, there's fishing, there's amenities. It is great, plenty of room. It is a great spot. So if ever you're doing outback Queensland and you're leaving Brisbane heading towards Roma, stop in at Chinchilla Weir. Great spot. So so that was free. So after catching up with Sam's family in Roma, we officially embarked on our trip around Australia. So we left Roma late that night and we headed towards Dirranbandi, where we simply parked on the side of the road at a rest stop for a few hours because we were eager to get to Lightning Ridge. Lightning Ridge was a destination that we always wanted to explore. We discovered a lovely little spot called Lawn Station. It's just out of Lightning Ridge. It is on an old shearers hub. So it was one of the largest shearing stations in that area in the late 1880s up until I think it was 1979 that it shut down. Now my dad was a shearer, so going to that place and taking photos and videos and being on FaceTime with my dad and reliving those memories that he had within that area, it was pretty cool. So it was a really great little camp. So we ended up staying there for 2 weeks because we did have a few dramas with the car. Check out our Lightning Ridge video where our upper control arm on the car got totaled coming back from the Garwin Opal fields. Check out the video. But we loved it there. $100 a week for 2 people in an unpowered site. We stayed there for 2 weeks, so it cost us $200. There were showers. The showers were actually amazing. Toilets, water, bins, you name it. And the lady there that runs place is absolutely brilliant. So great spot, 5 out of 5. Like honestly, I love that place. So next stop was Bawarrina. So we found a nice little spot on the Barwon River. There were toilets, bins, a gym, boat ramp, there's a fishing jetty, a cool little spot that if we didn't get woken up at 1:30 a.m. in the morning by some loud mouths having a few drinks, it would have got more of a rating. But it was a free spot. We stayed there for 1 night and probably give this place a 3 out of 5. So Burke was our next destination. I love Burke, absolutely love Burke. And all I can say is that the information centre at Burke is probably the best information centre that I have been in so far. So you walk in there and the ladies there are just awesome. There's a cafe. There is like a self-guided museum that you can pay to go into. In the car park, there is plenty of parking with a dump point, with a place to fill up your water. It really accommodates for caravans and RVs. Great spot. Anyway, from there we headed to a great free camp. Again, free camp about 14 k's out of Burke, a place called Mays Bend. Now, with Mays Bend, you need to be completely off-grid. There is no water, there are no bins, no toilets, but it is brilliant. Staying here, again, it was free. We stayed there for about a week. Honestly, highly recommend this place, 5 out of 5. The next stop was Cobar. We left Burke, headed towards Cobar. Cobar is about 1 hour and 40 from Burke, and we stayed at the Cobar RV caravan area. Now it is just opposite, it is located just opposite the information centre next to the Miners Memorial off Conduit Street. We stayed here for only 1 night while we explored the town, so everything was walking distance from there. There's no facilities at the stop, but about 200 metres down there is a brilliant caravan and RV rest area with a dump point, water, parking, best that we've seen on our travels so far. But this place, you can't complain. It's free, walking distance to the town, the information centre, and the great Miners Memorial there. So I give this a 4 out of 5. towards Dubbo. Now I was excited to go to Dubbo. We did a lot in Dubbo, and I lost all the footage for what we did in Dubbo, but we did the zoo, we did the jail, we did all the touristy things. It was really cool, but I got no photos, so have to go back there again and enjoy it. There was one day we did the zoo and we did a barbecue. We took the little Bunsen burner and we did the barbecue, set up the chairs on the back of the ute, and we sat there with the animals enjoying our lunch. And we stayed at a little place called Caravanning Reserve. It is on the Macquarie River, and it's about 10 k's out of Dubbo. Now there are a lot of permanent camped up people here. The grass was very overgrown. We got to know a couple of the people that were staying there as well, and they're just brilliant. One night we had too many margaritas and full-on night. I think that was on the AFL grand final night. Loads of fun, but it was really good because we got to know some of the other travelers there. When we went out, we knew our caravan was being looked after. So great. It was a good little spot. Overground, there are toilets there. The bins, I think Sam picked up the rubbish that was thrown around the place a couple of times and put it in the bin, but I give this place a 3 out of 5. Next on our adventures, we traveled to Ponto Falls. So the reason why we found out about Ponto Falls is one night we were in the city of Dubbo filling up the water at one of the fields, and a fella came over to the ute and he said, "Oh, are you guys traveling around Australia?" And we're like, "Oh yeah, we're traveling around Australia, blah 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 blah." And he goes, "Oh my god, you need to stay at this place called Ponto Falls. It is about half an hour south of Dubbo." So we got back, we checked it out, and I was like, oh my god, this place is a place that I envisioned us to be staying at when we were dreaming up the idea of hitting the road full time. It had the river, it had nature, it had animals, it had, you know, space, it had everything I dreamed this lifestyle would be. So the next day we packed up everything and we went there. Ponto Falls. Now honestly, I give this place a 4.99999 out of 5. We did need to leave because there was a big storm that came down. We were parked down the bottom near the river. The water was rushing down the hill into the river. The river was rising. We lost our awning. Sam's packing up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I didn't even hear him because I was asleep through an atomic bomb. And he's like, "We've got to get out of here. We've got to get out of here. We're going to lose the caravan." So he hooked it on. I'm like getting out going, what the hell's happening? We had to rush out of there. But at this place, there is a dump point. There are bins. There is no water. But there is a long drop, and it is the most beautiful place that I feel we have been lucky enough to stay at for free. Next stop after being a mad rush getting out of Ponto Falls was Orange. So we went to the information centre. That was a cool information centre. Went in and asked them about the free camp that was at the showground. We wanted to, just use that as a base just to look at everything around Orange. We got there. You can stay at the showground for 2 nights, so 48 hours free. There is no power, but there is water and there is toilets. I didn't go up there because we've got everything that we need here. Now, when we got there, the caravanning and camping section is allocated. I tell you what, we walked out of the caravan and it was like stepping into a swimming pool. There was nowhere else we could go that we were allowed to go, but that was, the drainage in that place is terrible. We did a trip down to Bunnings. We were gone literally 12 minutes and we had one of our cords stolen. On Saturday morning when we woke up to get out of there, all the cars that were visiting the markets were completely packing out the camping area, the allocated camping area. So I had to do some traffic controlling. Sam had to somehow hook up the caravan and somehow maneuver around these cars that had decided to park in camping allocated section. I would highly recommend to not stay there. I would highly recommend to stay at Macquarie Woods, which is our next destination, and use that as a base to go into Orange and into Bathurst. So I give showground at Orange 0 stars. Nightmare. Won't ever go back there again. Crap. Next stop was Macquarie Woods Reserve. Now Macquarie Woods is about 25 clicks out of Orange. It's in Victoria. Not Victoria, but Victoria. Friggin' love this place. Love this place. You can stay here up to 28 days free. There is plenty of space. There is bins, there's long drop toilets, there's no water, but the serenity and the sunsets of this place and the stars at night is amazing. So we stayed here for 2 weeks and we used it as our base to explore Bathurst and their surrounding areas, as well as we had to go back to Orange as well. But unfortunately, coming back from Bathurst and driving the track, believe it or not, at normal speed, unfortunately we blew up a turbo on the way home, coming home at night. That'll be our next episode. So if you like our videos, like and subscribe, hit the notification button. But that will be in our next video, the shit show that we had to deal with. But anyway, it was still one of our best places that we have stayed. 4.5 out of 5, I reckon. Next spot was Lake Wallace. So Lake Wallace is just out of Lithgow. It is a free camp. You can only stay there for up to 48 hours, but we were a bit sneaky, and it being a long weekend, we did stay there for like an extra couple of nights because everyone else was. No one said anything to us. It is a great spot. There are toilets, there is a dump point. We could not find the water there, but there's a huge lake, there's fishing. I got up on my stand-up paddleboard, paddled out to the middle, laid down for ages and chillaxed. It was awesome. So the next place was Silverdale. It was a place called Warringamba Nature Reserve. Okay, I think that's what it's called. I will put down all these places in the description because they are all great places. Well, most of them were. But we went to Warringamba Nature Reserve. It was just on the outskirts of Sydney. When we got there, caravans were all parked up, camper vans, you know, all that sort of stuff. They were all set up. So we gathered that the spot that they were set up on, and we're talking probably 15, we set up there as well. 2 days later, ranger comes around, tells everyone this isn't a free camp. So the app that everyone must be getting that information off of must be obviously wrong, but we were told we needed to get out of there before our caravan was going to be towed. But if you do go to Warringamba, there are some really beautiful lookouts there. Really enjoyed it. The lookout, scenery, nature around the area, and the big dam. So after that, we kind of had the shits and we're like, oh, you know, just over it. We drove all the way to Wollongong just to put our feet in the water and walk along the beach. So that's what we did. After spending so long in the outback, we wanted to be near the ocean. So that night we went out in Wollongong, just parked the caravan on the side of the road, We did the markets there, went for a walk along the beach, went and had dinner out for the first time in ages, got back in the caravan, drove down to a rest stop that was on the highway there, and stayed there the night. That night we do what we do, and we love watching Australian crime, true crime, and we watched a show on Ivan Milat. So we woke up the next morning and we headed to Balango State Forest, where we spent 2 weeks, and I friggin' loved this place. Free camp. There's bins. No, there's no bins. There's toilets. You can have fires, contain fires. There's plenty of space, plenty of firewood around the place. We actually loved it here. And you can use Balango State Forest to explore all the cute little historical towns that surround this area. And we found some really great little towns, old bridges. We did some fossicking. It was great just to also relax and stop and enjoy nature at its best, because every single morning we had the beautiful black cockatoos, like not just a couple, like seriously hundreds of them fly over, and I'd just be standing out there or laying out there on the grass just watching them. They're friggin' beautiful. And there's also some cool walking tracks in there, and we did a little bit of exploring up there as well, and we loved it there, absolutely loved it there. So that was our first 3 months. So what did it cost us? Approximately $2,000 for the last 3 months on food. We don't pay power. We don't pay water. We don't pay rent. So the total for being on the road for our basic living expenses seriously, before that, 3 months in suburbia, working full-time, 12 hours a day, living our life on the weekend, the total was $17,500 for 3 months. We can live on the road, traveling Australia, experiencing everything that this great country has to offer for just over $3,000. In this, I didn't include all the little side tours and everything that we do, but there's actually so much out here for free. Me personally, Sam's exactly the same. We love nature, love our bushwalks, we love our sunsets, finding a really cool spot and having a wine, watching the sunset. We love the beach, which we love. Well, he loves fishing, I love watching him fish. 9 times out of 10, you don't need to pay for it, okay? For instance, Lightning Ridge, most of the stuff there to do was free. Just driving your car around, just free. Having a look at, the history behind the town. Same with, most of these old towns, they've got these walking trails. We love doing that, standing outside a building and going, oh my God, this is the history, this is the information, this is a story behind this town. And that is really cool. Well, to me, that is really cool. But if you are thinking about selling up everything and hitting the road full time, all I can say, it is not going to be easy. But you know what? Life is too short not to do it. No financial stress head over your head. Life. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. It's not going to be easy. Don't give up. If you come across an obstacle or a hurdle, you find a way to get over it. You find a way to make your dreams come true, and you make it happen.